Good morning. Back in the spring of this year, Toronto police were contacted by a neighboring police service in regards to a male that was being investigated for a luring investigation. This Toronto resident was known to our unit, and as a result of our own separate investigation, he now stands charged with 17 counts of sexual assault and 17 counts of the sexual exploitation of a person with a disability. His name is Patrick Pearsall. His photograph is to my right. He's 50 years of age. It's alleged that he used social media to meet with a female victim who's 18 years of age. This 18-year-old female is a special needs person, and though she is a young adult, her mind operates at the age of approximately 12 years. This victim was invited to come to Toronto by a third party at the request of Mr. Pearsall, and once she arrived, she was sexually assaulted numerous times over a period of 2 months. It is believed that Mr. Pearsall targets vulnerable girls who are challenged or at risk, and we are looking to see if there's more victims out there who want to come forward. As of this morning, we've identified 2 more potential victims, and I want to thank London Police for assisting us in that regard right now. Mr. Pearsall is transient, and he's known to have been in numerous other parts of the province, including Belleville, Brighton, Barrie, Guelph, Trenton, Cornwall, and Ottawa, as well as London. He also has frequented the provinces of Alberta and Nova Scotia as well. He's currently unemployed, and anyone with any information about Mr. Pearsall's activities, online or otherwise, I welcome them to contact us at Sex Crimes Unit, and we will investigate.
Detective Sergeant, did the alleged victim in your case present himself as having some sort of disability, or are you alleging he would have known?
It's unsure at this point if he actually was aware. I can't say. I'm not sure how she presented herself. She did not suggest that she was younger than her actual age.
And was this on Facebook?
It was on social media. I hesitate to identify exactly which social media it was. A popular social media.
Was he going by his own name?
Yes, he was.
What are the ages of the other 2 victims who you know of as of
One is 18, and the other one is younger than 18.
Did any of these victims meet the suspect in person ever before?
That I'm unaware of at this point.
What about this third party that you said arranged to meet this victim? What's up with that person?
That person is still talking to the investigators. And at this point, I think I can safely say that she has some issues of her own that may have affected her judgment.
Was she being paid or anything like that?
No. No indication of that.
Sorry, I may have missed this, but what relationship does the accused have with this third party? Are they blood relatives, friends, acquaintances?
No, acquaintances.
So how did the relationship work? Was there a period of time that they chatted before meeting in person? Or was there a grooming stage? Just walk us through that.
Yes, I would say there was a grooming stage of a couple months before she actually agreed to come to the city and meet with Mr. Pearsall. And that was grooming through the third party. It was a friendship that developed, and the grooming continued from there.
So she was speaking with the third party and not Pearsall before the meeting?
That's right.
So she didn't meet Pearsall until she came to Toronto?
That's correct.
And where did she come from?
Another jurisdiction, and I hesitate to tell you exactly where, because there are ongoing investigations at that jurisdiction. I don't want to jeopardize that.
Can we say west of the city, east of the city, north of the city?
West of the city.
So the third party would be the one communicating with these girls online and befriend them and try and make them come somewhere, and then this is where the 50-year-old man would step in.
In this investigation that we are conducting now with the victim who has got disabilities, he did not contact her directly. He used a third party. However, I believe the other victims were contacted directly by him. So he didn't always use the third party to locate victims.
Is the third party considered a victim in this or a suspect?
It's uncertain at this time.
Teenage girl, young woman?
Young woman.
So how old is she?
The third party is also 18.
You talked about her having some issues that led to some questionable judgment, which resulted in her participating in this.
Yes.
To be a bit more specific, obviously, you're talking about mental/emotional problems, but give us a little bit more insight as to what her issues are.
I believe she's got some special needs, not unlike our victim.
So, developmental issues, mentally, cognitive.
Challenging, yeah, she's challenged.
How did she get to Toronto? The victim?
She took a bus.
Take one last question.
They took a bus downtown, like to this station on Gerard or whatever it is.
The bus terminal?
Yeah.
Right downtown, yes.
Sorry, the victim, you said this, the victim with the disability is 18, you said?
Yes.
Was there any kind of guardian?
She has a guardian, yes.
And what role does the guardian play? Was it that the 18-year-old just sort of left without saying anything or lied or?
She lived on her own. She had her own residence, the 18-year-old victim, but she did have a guardian,
Okay.
yes.
Did the guardian have any suspicion of what was going on? He just didn't notify the police, or did the guardian factor into this at all?
I don't know what role the guardian plays as yet, and we've been unable to actually reach that person.
How far back are you looking in the past of that man, like for potential other victims?
Well, it really depends who comes forward. And there's time frames that we have to look at in relation of if he was ever previously charged. So those are my parameters.
Was he ever previously charged?
I can't say.
So
Was
the
he known
other,
to police?
He was known to us, yes.
he was known to you. So the other two victims that you say you know of as of this morning, are they from Toronto? Or are all these charges this man is facing from that one victim who came on the bus?
No, the two potential victims that we've identified as of this morning are not from Toronto. And I believe those are going to be separate to this on the investigation that I'm discussing with you today.
Has he been charged in relation to those?
Not yet.
And when they arrived, when the first victim arrived at the bus terminal, where would they go from there? A hotel, his home? What are you alleging? Where
I'm
did they
alleging
set
it's a
that?
hotel.
One in particular?
Yes.
Which one?
I don't want to say at this time because we have to still reattend the hotel and seek some more evidence.
How did you find victims?
The victim came forward through another person.
The original victim?
This victim, our victim, yes, in this investigation.
Two other potential victims.
That's us reaching out to them.
And sorry, where are they from, the two other ones? London or what areas of the,
They're from London.
they're from, those two are from London?
Yeah.
So they'll be charged in London, or he'll be facing charges in London?
Quite likely. We still have to work with London Police, and we are doing that.
So that wasn't the case of them coming into Toronto, those two?
I'm not sure of that yet.
How were you able to reach out to those victims? Where did that information come from?
I can't tell you. We're continuing to investigate. We're searching materials. We're gathering information as we go along.
Did the other two victims in London have disability or challenges also?
That I haven't confirmed yet.
So sorry, if you've answered this already, I was busy on social media. I apologize, but the third party, are they being looked at as potentially being charged in any way because of their participation, or was it just a case of manipulation on the part of the suspect?
It hasn't been decided yet where that's going, but I would say that it's very likely that she was manipulated, and I don't think she possesses the mens rea to be committing the offense.
Last question?
What was seized from his home?
He was not living anywhere in particular when he was arrested. Things were seized on his person, but he was not.
Things like that? Like how-
He
He didn't
didn't.
have a residence, how would he go to like a cafe, or how?
Yes, there's plenty of places you can go to connect on the internet, and if you have a cellular phone, it makes it very simple.
So if someone has possibly, if people with special needs are sort of his target victim, if someone has, if they're a guardian of someone who has this, what should they be looking for on these people's computers, or these people's, should they be looking for a specific name or some sort of icon or something that he uses or something that might trigger them to think, oh, maybe my relative or my friend has been targeted?
Well, I'm not aware of any particular handle he used. He used his real name, was my understanding, and these are his pictures. The one on the right is actually his profile on the social media. So it doesn't hurt if you think there's a concern to compare that picture with maybe some contacts on someone's social media site. And certainly always be aware of chat and the nature of chats. And if you are able to, if you have access to that kind of information for the person that you're the guardian of, I would think you should be looking to see if they're having inappropriate conversations with people. And then that would be the heads up.
Triggers.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
so you say that he has connections in Belleville, Ottawa, Trenton, London, Toronto, I guess all over. Have you been in contact with police all over the province?
We are working on that.
Can you spell his name?
It's Patrick, first name, and the surname's Pearsall. 50 years of age. Thank you.
That concludes this part of the, or portion of our news conference. Thank you, Detective Sergeant. Detective Dan Luff will speak about a man arrested in connection with the High Park sexual assaults.
Morning, thank you. Toronto Police Service would like to make the public aware of the arrest made in a series of sexual assaults. It was alleged that on Sunday, the 3rd of May at 7 p.m. and at 9 p.m. and Monday, the 4th of May at approximately 9 p.m., 3 separate women were walking along pathways in the south end of High Park where they were sexually assaulted. Each time the man approached the women and he'd sexually assault them. On the 17th of August, Mark Towell was charged with 3 additional counts of sexual assault. He is presently in custody for similar offenses. It is alleged that in the Saturday, October 25th, 2014, at about 3:50 a.m., a woman was walking in the Young Finch area when she was approached by Mr. Towell, where she too was sexually assaulted. On Saturday, June 6, 2015, at about 6:50 p.m., a woman was walking in the Beltline Trail area, or in the park in the Beltline Trail area, where she was sexually assaulted by Mr. Towell. And finally, on the 30th of May, 2015, a woman was walking on the K. Gardner Beltline pathway when she was grabbed and sexually assaulted by Mr. Towell. And he's been in custody since his arrest on the 30th of June. Following that arrest, as I said, he was in custody and he's remanded in custody, facing all the charges. He is next to appear in court at College Park tomorrow morning, 5:05 at 9 a.m. on a video remand.
Do you have DNA connecting these cases?
I don't want to get too detailed into the evidence as to this point, but we have evidence that sort of links all the different cases together that suffices that I'm satisfied it's Mr. Towell, the person responsible for all these offenses.
How many is it total then? You said
We have a
3?
total of 6 victims.
And 3 of them were in High Park?
3 were in High Park, yes.
So is
Were you just able to recently connect him to the High Park ones? Because you said he was arrested June 30th.
He was arrested June 30th on an unrelated matter, and information had come to us in regards to Mr. Towell, and we were able to confirm and support our allegations before we laid the additional charges.
What was the unrelated matter?
The 3 matters in May in High Park. Or the unrelated matter was the assault of the young lady of a similar attack.
In October?
No, October he was released on prior?
Okay. Oh, so he was charged in October with the October one?
Correct. He was
How many
released.
times has he been arrested over the last year?
Now he's been arrested twice with the additional charges being laid.
So in October, he was arrested, he was out on bail or something like that?
He was out on bail, correct.
And then these 6 other attacks happened.
Correct, and the final attack being on June 30th, at which point he was arrested shortly after the attack, and he's been in custody since. and additional charges have been laid in relation to that.
Can you tell us how the arrest happened June 30th? Was there a police officer in the area? Did somebody hold him until officers arrived?
Police officers attended the scene and confronted Mr. Tao. Were able to locate him.
During the alleged act?
That I can't answer, but I believe it was shortly thereafter.
After the Hyde Park attacks, you released a sketch of the suspect in those attacks. Did that sketch help in any way in the investigation?
That sketch helped with the public coming forward and providing us with multiple people of interest that we had to look at and eliminate as potential suspects or not involved at all. And so I thank the public for assisting us in that endeavor.
Can you tell us about this guy? Where does he work? What does he do?
He resides in the Richmond Hill area, and he was operating a landscape type business.
What can you tell us about the victims? Are they all similar in age?
The ages of the victims, for all 6 of the victims, ranges anywhere from 25 to 45 years of age. So there's no specific genre, age.
And how did he all attack them in a similar manner?
Yes.
Was there a weapon? Was there a weapon used, or?
There's no indication of any weapon used in any of the attacks.
What was the ammo allegedly equipped?
The victims would be walking by themselves in a secluded area. He would either approach from the front or the rear and attack his victims.
Did any of them require medical attention?
Well, they all received medical attention in regards to sexual assaults. To the extent of that, for their personal privacy, I'm not going to go any further than.
Can you tell us a little bit about the suspect's personal life? Is he married, father, children, grandchildren?
He's not married. The last I'm aware of that he was residing with his father.
Any children?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Would the attacks in the air, in location correspond with maybe where he was doing some landscaping work? Because he seems to be hopping all around the city.
That, I'm going to leave that out. That's part of our investigation. So
Was it a well-known company? Would it, or was he, is he like a one-off private contractor, or is he?
I'd probably go more with a one-off, private.
But his work did bring him to all over the GTA?
Yes,
Are you worried that more attacks could be connected to him? And
very possible. He's not from the Toronto area. His original attack was up in the Young Finch area, which is a fair distance from High Park. And now we have the 2 other attacks on the, basically the Young and St. Clair area for that Beltline Trail Park area. So he moves around. So he may, for all we know, he may be doing Peel, he could be doing Durham, other parts of Toronto.
What's the name of his company?
Towel, I believe it's Towel Landscaping. Like if you Google Towel Landscaping
How do you spell towel like towel?
with a second L, Towell.
What's the other name?
Sorry, there's 2 there.
first name?
Sorry.
Mark,
Mark.
Mark James Towell.
Mark with a K?
Okay, yes.
And what's his last name again?
Towel, Towell.
Was he in a Finch attack when someone was getting off a bus?
No, there were several up in that area in regards to buses. I don't recall whether she had gotten off a bus. She had walked a fair bit along.
Was that near a college or something? Was this
Is it
near
near
a
a college?
No. Okay.
And how old is he?
He is 36 years of age.
Sorry, it's the suspect, Mark Powell.
Yes,
Just there.
gentleman to my right.
Melvin, Towel Melvin Enterprises, is that the company?
I believe so, yes.
Last questions?
So he's been in custody since June 30th?
He's been in custody since June 30th.
And when's he going to secure?
Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., 505 court by video remand.
Where he's bailing you tomorrow?
He's had a bail hearing, and that's why he's still in custody. It's just to be spoken to. And the additional charges, he'll be facing the additional charges tomorrow.
So he was denied bail.
Correct.
Last question?
Thank you.
That concludes today's conference. Thank you for attending. We have 2 separate news releases that will be released with all 3 photos. So there'll be 2 separate. Yeah, absolutely. The other one first? Sure. Yep. There you go. Yeah, I'll leave it up.
So this is the first guy that she's sending, right?
No, this is all the same.
Oh,
This
right.
is the same, and then.